जातीयवाद आणि विषमता फक्त भारतातच आहे का? जातीयवादाच्या विषवल्लीने भारताचं काय नुकसान केलंय? हिंदू धर्म व्यवस्थेत जातीयवाद कलंक कसा ठरतो? बुद्ध धर्माचं सामर्थ्य काय? भारत आणि दक्षिण कोरिया एकत्र कशासाठी? चीन दक्षिण कोरियाचा दुश्मन का?
नमस्कार, मी विजय गायकवाड. मॅक्स महाराष्ट्रामध्ये तुमचं स्वागत आहे. खरं पाहिलं तर मी भारतापासून जवळपास 5 ते 6 हजार किलोमीटर अंतरावरती दक्षिण कोरियामध्ये आहे. आणि दक्षिण कोरियामध्ये असताना इथे जातीयवाद, आरक्षण, विषमता हे सगळे विषय कशाला हवेत असा देखील प्रश्न तुमच्या मनात उपस्थित होऊ शकतो. परंतु जातीयवाद हा काही फक्त भारतापुरता मर्यादित नाही, हा जगामध्ये आहे. म्हणजे जपान असेल, दक्षिण कोरिया असेल, अमेरिका असेल, अनेक ठिकाणी हा विषमवादाचं जाळं हे पसरलं होतं. आणि जसे भारतीय पसरले जगभरामध्ये तसं ते अधिक घट्ट होत गेलं. या विषमवादाचा बारकाईने अभ्यास करणारे अनेक देशी शास्त्रज्ञ आहेत, एक विषयतज्ञ आहेत, परंतु जगाच्या पातळीवरती फार मोजक्या लोकांनी याबाबत संशोधन केलं. हेच सगळं समजून घेण्यासाठी मी आज आहे कानकाव विद्यापीठामध्ये, आणि या कानकाव विद्यापीठाचे वरिष्ठ शास्त्रज्ञ डॉक्टर चाव माझ्यासोबत आहेत. आणि त्यांच्याकडनं मी समजून घेणार आहेत नेमकं भारतातली जी काही जाती व्यवस्था आहे, जे काही राजकारण आहे, समाजकारण आहे, त्यावर त्यांनी काय अभ्यास केला आहे, तर तो निष्कर्ष काय आलेत, आणि सध्या जे काही विषवल्ली जगभरामध्ये पसरते त्यावरचा उपाय काय, हे देखील आपण समजून घेणार आहोत. हॅलो मिस्टर चाव, हाऊ वेलकम टू मॅक्स महाराष्ट्र. हाऊ casteism and reservation are the fundamental issues of India. How you get attracted and how you started to research about it and study about it?
Yeah, I did not do research on India. My primary interest was the Southeast Asian politics and economy. But after I returned to Korea, upon completion of my PhD, I found that there is no major scholars working on India. But I find that India is a really strategically important country to our country. And so I feel that I need to study India on my own, and because I believe that China is kind of a big security threat to Korea in the future. So my idea is to build up some shared value-based democratic alliance against China. And so I hope that India is one of that big international alliance. But to better understand to India, I find that I have to know about the caste system first, because caste system is really important role in Indian life. So that's why I studied India and then caste system.
Okay, but sir, India is masters in computers, IT. India is upcoming economy. India is known for its hidden strengths all over the world. But caste system is in many politicians in past also said it is an integral part of India. But how your research, your study on it, found that this may be obstacle for particularly SC/ST community, Dalit community, and we will come ahead with the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is a contributor, who is a crusader for Dalit advocate and reformerist. So, what is your finding in that study and research?
I didn't really catch your question,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
you mean even though India is really IT big player in the world, why the caste is still important?
Yeah. Why the caste is important?
Yeah. I think that not really many people knows about the IT industry in India. In the foreigners usually knows about the caste things. Almost everyone knows India is caste.
Okay.
India is not a big IT country. But nowadays, I know that India is really big IT power country, right? But still many people has the image India is kind of caste-based country. So that's kind of common sense to Koreans. So why you know, begins with this kind of the caste system first in my research on India.
Sir, let us come to Dr. Ambedkar and his contribution for particularly backward classes in India. After independence, so many reformation happened. And, so how you analyze that contribution?
Yeah. I did some kind of historical research on how this kind of reservation system was made initially, and I found that this basically has something to do with the Pune Pact. And the big player in this pact is that the two prominent guys in India, one is Gandhi and the other is Dr. Ambedkar. And then Dr. Ambedkar at that time, he claimed that Hinduism does not recognize or admit the equality among the humans. Hinduist basic idea is that all humans not created equal. That's what Dr. Ambedkar claimed. And later I found that the legal Veda say that the humans created like 3-4 different paranas, not like a human created equal things. So like inequality in humanity is basically rooted in Hinduism, kind of a Bible, one of Bibles, right? So that's the key idea. Dr. Ambedkar, he find that basically caste discrimination is rooted in Hinduism itself. It is like caste system is part of the Hinduism. It is not separable from the Hinduism. That's what his claim and his finding. That's the really big finding, I think. So to get out of this kind of caste discrimination, he later say that you have to give up the Hinduism. That's why he converted to Buddhism. And Buddhism's key idea is that anybody can be Buddha, even though you are regardless of your caste status. That's why the Buddhism was so popular long time ago. It is more popular than the Hinduism at that time. And because they carry the human equality, the idea of human equality. All human beings are equal. As long as you can be go through some kind of the course, then you can be Buddha yourself. So
Buddhism is found to be the tool to eradicate indiscrimination. I found some Buddhist temples in Korea. Maybe Buddha thought maybe reached 2,000 years ago in Korea. In your research, do you find that Buddhism in India, Buddhism in Korea can be the common platform for bilateral tie-up and getting together?
Yeah, we have some. If you go to some kind of India and Korean collaboration meeting or the parties, you see so many the Buddhists there, because they say that we have strong connection to India through the Buddhism, right? But the interpretation of Buddhism is different. Indians' understanding, especially Dr. Ambedkar understanding, his key idea is Buddhism is equality. That's what I think. But in Korea, Buddhism is just a salvation. You can get out of this pain in real life pain. You want to get exit of this kind of the paper life, so you can be a kind of what they say. Yeah. So it's kind of some individual interest based religion in Korea. And another feature of Korean Buddhism is patriotism. So in a national crisis, the monk rose up against foreign invaders like Japanese, like Chinese things. So they fought against foreigners in defense of the kingdom in early days. So they can say that some patriotic Buddhism. And so like two components of Korean Buddhism is one is strong patriotism. So they go with the government. That's one. And the opposite is some extreme individual salvation idea. So, but they don't play up some kind of the key idea of human equality in Korea. So we are not much interested in equality ideas anymore, because we also have some kind of nobility and nobility system in early days, but that system was wholly destroyed through the Japanese colonialism and then Korean War things. So nowadays, everyone believes all Koreans are equal, even though you are not Buddhist, you are not Christian, whatever religion you carry. So this kind of the idea of the equality is very prevalent among the Koreans. But India is different. So you need some kind of this kind of discrimination according to where you belongs to, which group, which community, or which religion you believe things. That's kind of we don't find in Korea.
Sir, crony capitalism and communalism is not only the problem of Korea or India, it's spread all across the world. How do you feel the Buddhist principle and practices will address these issues and promote more equitable society?
Yeah, I think the Buddhist teaching say that you will stay away from this kind of the crony capitalism things. So I don't think Buddhists like the richness, like material richness, because they want some what they say the spiritual satisfaction things. That's what I think Buddhism is. But capitalism is also make some contribution to the widening the idea of the equality. This in the sense that you can be anyone can be a pauper as long as you get the money, regardless of your caste status things. In that sense, capitalism also, carries some idea of the equality, but capitalism itself creates another inequality, like a material standard. They have different idea of inequality, but you see the caste discrimination is not based on any material interest things.
Mm-hmm.
It is religious or it is some kind of social discriminations, right? So it doesn't matter how rich you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you belongs to low caste, you just you don't deserve some good treatment things, right? So that's why. But yeah, I'm not sure. There is some kind of the some
Imbalance.
tense, some kind of the in conflict between the capitalism and the idea of equality thing, Buddhism inside.
Yeah, in India we are seeing, as you mentioned, the Hindu community, Hindu society responsible for this casteism. Major role by Brahmin community, is upper class community. But they always, in today also they promote their Brahminism, and ultimately responsible for the untouchability and all this. Have you seen such a phenomenon in Korean society or some other international community? You was in India, so what is your perception on that?
I don't personally meet any Indian who practice the discrimination in Korea.
Okay.
Right? But I met several Indians who carries strong self-pride, and that means he's from the upper caste. So I never ask any Indians in Korea what caste you belong to. It is kind of taboo to me ask, even though I'm a good friend to them, I don't ask their caste status. So I never ask their caste, but I just guess.
Guess you
Yeah,
guess it.
their caste status, how they what they carry some, if they carry some strong like self pride and asking things, and they are usually from the upper caste. Right? So that's
Sir, India has abolished this casteism by constitution. It gives the right of equality. And, though it has been abolished by constitution, it has not stopped since 17 years. That's the reason government in 1981 Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Atrocity Act, which is very stringent punishment in India. So some people, upper caste people who are spread across the world now, some demand was came in Google recently in Canada brought some legislation. So do you think this discrimination is rising and spreading all across the world, which will be ultimately blamed to India, because the root of casteism is very enrooted in Indian soil?
yeah. The prevention of atrocity based on the caste, right, was written in the constitutions, but it never disappeared.
Yes.
It's there. You see, the Indian constitution say that they need some obligatory education for what they up to 15 years old, all students in
free education.
1950s.
Yes.
That's stated in constitution, but it has never realized in India. It's the same with the caste. They say their idea put in the constitution say that nobody can be discriminated based on caste and other criteria, right? But still, that is practiced in society. As I talked to earlier, that if you read the newspaper, when you find that some various advertisements is classified as, you see they classified according to the jatis, which jatis belongs to, and then you find your partners. That's kind of very eccentric to us, to foreigners, but it is very familiar in everyday life, part of the everyday life in India. Even though constitution say that you cannot practice this kind of the ideas, but still is major newspapers.
Yeah, atrocity news are there. In
They
headlines.
put up this kind of ad every week.
So my last question, this subject might have you studied and researched, made you attraction towards India. Yesterday night called you and you united me. That may be the reason your your concentration to this subject. What are the future plan to study? Because caste and this reservation, Indian society is a very vast subject.
Yeah,
Are there any plan to
Yeah.
research and to take a long study of this?
I'm kind of old guy.
Okay.
I'm getting old.
Oh.
So I'm gonna retire in in 6 years.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm now 58.
Oh.
Right, so we retire in 64. Right, so I have only 6 years, and my future plan is not to do some like a new research on India or Indian reservation things. If I make any contribution to mutual understanding between Korea and India, is that by become some kind of I'm become like a ambassador things.
Great.
So I want to go to India, not just as a scholar, as some kind of public bureaucrat or ambassador things or things. So that's how maybe make some contribution to our understanding of India in the future.
Thanks a lot, sir. It was very nice to meet you.
Nice.
सगळ्या मॅक्स महाराष्ट्राच्या दर्शकांसाठी नक्कीच ही उत्साहवर्धक अशी मुलाखत असेल, कारण की या मुलाखतीमध्ये आपण सगळ्या विषयांचा मागोवा घेतला आहे. म्हणजे भारतातली जात व्यवस्था, भारतातली विषमता, त्याचे मूळ काय नेमकं आणि सध्या परिस्थितीमधले आव्हानं काय, या सगळ्याच विषयांचा आढावा घेतला आणि त्याचं अल्टिमेटली म्हणजे 5,000 किलोमीटर अंतरावर असलेल्या दक्षिण कोरियामध्ये काय रिफ्लेक्शन होते आणि भविष्यामध्ये भारत आणि दक्षिण कोरिया यांच्या एक परस्पर संबंधांसाठी देखील ही गोष्ट महत्त्वाची ठरणार आहे. अर्थात बुद्धाने दिलेला धम्म देखील त्यासाठी महत्त्वाचा आहे. हेच सगळं यातून अधोरेखित केलं. सगळ्या वेळात वेळ काढून सरांनी वेळ दिली आणि आम्ही सेऊलपासून काही अंतरावर असलेल्या कांगकाव युनिव्हर्सिटीमध्ये ही मुलाखत आयोजित करू शकलो. त्याबद्दल सरांचे आभार व्यक्त करतो. इथेच थांबतो. पण सगळे पाहत राहा मॅक्स महाराष्ट्र. आमचं यूट्यूब चॅनल आहे www आणि वेबसाईट आहे www.maxmaharashtra.com. आमच्या फेसबुक पेजवर देखील आपण कमेंट करा. मी विजय गायकवाड इथेच थांबतो. आपण पाहत राहा मॅक्स महाराष्ट्र. धन्यवाद.